Hey guys, this is Jay Calder with JAYONBOXING, here giving you a personal prediction for Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. And as always, this is just my take, of course. Your predictions can be left down in the comments section below. Would love to hear them all. And a little bit of fight info here. We have Oleksandr Usyk taking on Daniel Dubois. This will be at the WROCLAW Arena in Wrocław, Poland, airing live on ESPN in the United States and TNT Sport in the UK in the heavyweight division, with Usyk's Ring Magazine, IBF, WBA, and WBO titles on the line. Well, it's not the heavyweight fight between Usyk and a Brit that we wanted to see, but here we are. Could be interesting in some ways, I suspect, but I think most think that Usyk will take this one, and for good reason. He's the better boxer, has taken on tougher tests and passed them, and continues to win, remaining unbeaten as a pro. Dubois has somewhat fallen short most of the times that he's kind of tried to rise up in the rankings, with a couple of exceptions here and there, but for the most part, against Joe Joyce, for example, he didn't quite pass the test, so you kind of wonder how he'll do against the very best. That said, he can still punch. A puncher's chance is still real, and especially for heavyweight. So, will the skill and finesse of Usyk be too much for the Englishman, or does Dubois land the shot that ends matters early? Let's break this one down. Starting with Usyk. For Usyk to win, you want to keep the jab busy. This is going to be used to kind of frustrate Dubois, who really likes to get in and starts charging in at times to get home. You want to make sure that jab basically neutralizes that to some degree. It'll stunt some of that momentum. This, of course, is also going to set up your left hand and the combinations that you start to throw once you get more into the swing of a fight. The more you can kind of get that jab going, the better it is for you to just kind of build. You're one of those fighters that uses a jab to build everything else that you're going to be doing in this contest. It's the foundation of your game plan, and you have a really good educated one, so use it naturally. You're not a big puncher. You weren't even a big puncher at cruiserweight, but you can score well if you're opening them up with that jab, getting some of those combinations and those backhands going a bit early in the contest, and setting up that work in general, scoring well, and I think you'll have some success. I would also say use that lateral movement. You're one of the best fighters in the world when it comes to moving side to side and not really settling your feet, keeping yourself out of harm's reach while also frustrating your opponents. Dubois also has slow feet. You're going to have to make him use them to kind of make him a little more clumsy, make him step over himself a bit more, and really get to taxing him for doing it. This also helps you kind of set up some of those traps. We'll walk him into shots when he's having to chase as opposed to cutting off the ring. You can land with that sort of double impact, and even if you're not a big puncher, it's at the very least going to score pretty well. This also gives you a chance to tire him out, sap some of that power from him. His best shot at beating you is power, and if you can keep him moving, get him a bit winded, especially early in the contest, and then as it proceeds, you'll have the best chance of being able to capitalize on it. And finally, I would say land shots underneath. Attacking the body will help slow him down. Again, we'll sap some of the energy, we'll take some of the power away from him as well. But I'm also talking about just uppercuts. Dubois comes in a bit over his lead foot. Attacking him underneath with that uppercut shot that you can throw pretty decent when I've seen you do it will certainly be a tactic I think you should implement in this contest. In this case, all you have to do is kind of take that half step back. It's a good trap for you to set, and you're already moving laterally anyway. Taking that half step back just to set up his shot makes all the sense in the world, and when he's coming in, you land it nice and kind of underneath, up the middle there with that uppercut, and I think you'll score well with that shot. Now, switching over to Dubois. For Dubois to win, I think you want to cut off the ring. In fact, I know you need to cut off the ring, because if you don't, you're going to be chasing, and you can't. You're just going to tire, you're going to walk into shots, and Usyk is too good a fighter to sit there and try to slug it out with a guy whose really only shot is if that happens. He's not going to make it easy for you. You need to make it easier by trying to get closer, and that starts by cutting off the ring and then allowing you to get more work done on the inside. Ultimately, this is trying to make Usyk's work get messier, where maybe there's a few more exchanges, where maybe he's throwing them from not the most optimal position, where his feet might be out of place. Anything that allows for you to create chances and openings to land your power. I'm not saying you should rely solely on power, no one should, but if you do not get power going in this fight, you don't have a chance against a fighter who is just, quite frankly, a much better boxer than you. So you have to be able to hurt him to make your work count, and I think that starts by cutting off the ring. I would also say keep the right hand busy. It's the best shot to throw against a lefty, especially in your case because you have a good right hand, and without this right hand getting going, you really don't have much of a chance. It's also simple. It's an easy shot to throw. You don't have to think about it much. I don't think thinking in the ring is always the best thing. You have to do what comes naturally. Most fighters have to do this, by the way. They aren't really able to box out of their comfort zone most of the time. So the simpler the shot, the better chance you have at throwing it the right way, with the right force, the right intentions, and at the right time. You can get that going in this fight. You have a chance of, at the very least, troubling Usyk and giving yourself a chance. If you can land it early, all the better, because then I think it slows him down, makes him a bit more weary, shuts down a little bit of what he's trying to do, and then allows for you to get more work going yourself. And finally, I would say get close and throw. Now this, again, seems somewhat like I'm retreading some of the ground I just mentioned here, and that's because I kind of am. You do need to cut off the ring to get close, and you need to throw punches, including that right hand. But I mean this specifically more in terms of just the style of fight you need to bring. You need to get inside. That right hand helps, and it helps when you cut off the ring, but you need to be inside. This is where he's not able to outbox you or maneuver you or push you around. You should be the bigger, stronger man, and this is where you give yourself those chances. And more importantly, it's about the mentality. It's not just about, well, yes, you have to throw punches, of course you do, but you have to land anywhere. Throw something, land to the body, the shoulder, the ribs, the kidney, doesn't matter. You just have to punch him and make him feel it, tame him in some of his skills. You have to get inside to do it, and once you're there, you have to make sure your hands are busy to give yourself the best chance of making it count. Now, in terms of my pick here, while I have said Dubois has a puncher's chance, Usyk is my pick in this one, and I don't think that surprises too many people. I think Dubois tries to come out hot, but Usyk tames him by being too crafty and using his movement. That will trouble Dubois and make him have to think too much, which I don't think benefits him in this particular encounter. Once Usyk sets his rhythm and he starts picking his spots a lot better, landing that jab, going to the body in bursts, and then just moving aside while Dubois is befuddled in terms of what to do, I think it really starts to open up for Usyk in this one. The work rate and the speed of Usyk will ultimately trouble Dubois too much, who likely gets stunned, maybe even dropped en route to a wide decision loss. Winner, Oleksandr Usyk via unanimous decision. Now, in terms of the betting odds, they seem to agree with me as well. In terms of Usyk winning, he's coming in at a massive favorite at a minus 1,600, with Dubois coming in at a plus 840. Only value here is that if you like the long shots and you want to lose a small bet there, of course, place it on Dubois. Expect to lose it, make it small, but it makes sense because, again, it is heavyweight boxing. No one's going to blame you for kind of taking that punt. That's a reasonable bet, in my opinion, even if you expect to lose it. In terms of the over-under, it's actually set at 7.5 rounds, though some books have it a little bit different, but for the most part, that's where it's set, with a minus 115 on both sides for the over and the under. Really, from a realistic standpoint, that's probably where your real best chance kind of lies, so to speak, in this one. I think, again, if you like the long shot, a Dubois pick of under, sort of, with him in mind, kind of makes sense, and you give yourself the backup of perhaps Usyk stopping Dubois as well, who has seemed to be rattled a little bit more lately. That being said, getting the over at a 115 when Usyk, a pure boxer who doesn't knock many people out, is, in this fight in his favor to win it, I think that makes a lot more sense overall. And when you're getting basically even money bets, that's pretty decent, so that's probably the line I would take. But in any event, those are your odds. And my prediction record as of this recording is 26-11 with 18 exact, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts, predictions, bets, so on and so forth. Of course, not the fight a heavyweight we're looking for, but what are your general feelings and thoughts on this one, and what are your picks, of course? Leave those down in the comments section below. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at jcalderon_JOB, and you can email me, of course, at jayonboxing@gmail.com. Be sure to follow me on Threads at jayonboxing. Would love to hear from you there. Also, be sure to check out jayonboxing.com for schedule results, betting odds, rankings, grades, all that good stuff. And we'll be dropping some more quick pick type videos, both on YouTube and on all of the other platforms I mentioned. So, of course, check those out. And as always, until next time.